Hey, so do you feel like you're not good enough on the inside? You try to stay busy, you try to cover that feeling up with work, with women, with porn, with alcohol, with staying busy, trying to be productive. And as soon as you slow it down, there that feeling is again. You had a busy day, but when you lay down at night, there that feeling is again. You're not good enough. This video is for you. In this video, I want to help you heal that feeling permanently so you don't have to feel like you're running away from your life. You can step fully into that life you were meant to live. And you can start creating a brighter future for yourself. So let's talk about it now. And before we dive into this, I just want to welcome you here. If you're new, my name is Rubin. I'm a transformational coach. This channel is dedicated to social anxiety, reducing social anxiety, increasing your self-esteem and your feelings of self-worth so you can find your fearless self-expression. If that's something you're looking to develop, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's a bell notification beside that. Click that as well so you know right away when I release a new video. You can check it out right away and start recovering. So this feeling like you're not good enough, it follows you around wherever you go. You don't really like what you do at work. You're not really passionate about it, but you're going through the motions. You're looking for love in all the wrong places. You're trying to do life as best that you can. You're truly doing your best. I get it. But as soon as you look over your shoulder, there's that feeling. You're not good enough. And if this is a feeling that seems to be following you around, what that tells me is you don't know who you are. On a very, very deep, intimate level, you don't know who you are. And you get glimpses of this side to you of who you could possibly be, but they're fleeting. The negative thoughts and feelings, they come. The stresses, the worries, the doubts, those seem to be more a part of your experience than when you get that little glimpse of the real you. And so the question becomes, how do you get to know yourself? I think what's most helpful here is to define that there's always going to be two aspects to yourself. Your higher self and your lower self. Your higher self doesn't experience fear, doesn't experience anxiety, doesn't experience doubt, doesn't experience shame, doesn't beat up on you when you make a mistake. Your higher self, it's always curious about yourself. It's always excited. It's always passionate. It's always curious about you and the world around you, other people. It's always calm. It's always feeling connected to yourself and others. It's always compassionate and kind to yourself and kind to others. That's the real you. That's who you really are. And I know you feel these feelings once in a while. They may be fleeting because all of the negative thoughts and feelings are overwhelming. They're constantly on and bombarding you. But you do get glimpses to this side where you feel like there's limitless potential within you. And you'll notice that this side has never left you. Through that shitty childhood that you went through, going through the school system, the bullying, pursuing your goals, getting your heart broken because you didn't reach your goals, crushed dream after crushed dream, crushed love interest after crushed love interest after all those women broke your heart. This side, it's never gone away. There's still this side to you that wants more. There's still that side to you that carries a lot of hope. There's still this side to you that it's pretty positive no matter what you've gone through. It's still there. Your higher self, it's still there. It was always there. It's never going to leave you for as long as you're breathing. Now we need to define this other side, because this other side, these negative thoughts and feelings, the doubts, the fears, the beating up on yourself, the shame, what these make up essentially is your ego. And your ego, it comes from the past. It wants you to repeat the past. And what it does, it has a very specific agenda. And this agenda of the ego, it's going to sound crazy, what I'm going to share with you. But it's also going to make a whole lot of sense for why you've been feeling and acting crazy and not rational, is because the whole purpose, the whole agenda of this ego is to disconnect you from other people. Its whole role is to fill you with so much fear that you disconnect from others, and when you do so, it disconnects you from yourself. But here's the kicker and why the ego is so crazy. In the process of disconnecting you from other people and disconnecting you from yourself, how it does that is it gets you to act in a way to get the approval, acceptance, admiration of those people that the very ego is trying to separate yourself from. That's a crazy thing. Take that in for a second. So I have this ego, and it wants the approval, it wants the acceptance, it wants the admiration of other people. It wants to feel like it belongs. But the only way it can do that is by disconnecting me from other people, by disconnecting me from myself. Like, how could that be? And if this is landing for you, let me know in the comments. The feeling like I want to connect with people, but at the same time, the more I do that, the more I'm pushing people away. And, I want the approval of other people, but I just sabotage and I say and do things where I don't get the approval, and it's like this conflicting war inside. So if this is resonating, it's connecting the dots, it's making sense, let me know in the comments. And so circling back here, how do you know when your ego, it's taking over, it's driving the bus, it's causing you to think, act, and speak in a way that separates you from other people and from yourself? And how do you know when you're in alignment with your higher self and you're thinking, acting, and speaking in a way that creates connection with other people and helps you feel connected to yourself? This is extremely important. Remember what I said earlier, this is not an intellectual process. This is not something that you think your way through. It's actually the opposite. This is about deactivating your mind. It's about deactivating those different thoughts and feelings that you're getting bombarded with. The doubts, the fears, the anxieties, the insecurities. How do you do that? It's on a bodily level. So when the ego is active, and it's such a sneaky, insidious thing that we need to be ultra aware of when it's active. I'm going to give you an example here. When the ego is active, you're going to be feeling constriction in your throat. You're going to be feeling tightening in your chest. You're going to be feeling butterflies in your stomach. For example, in this emotional system, you're going to be feeling this energy, and it's going to be coming through as these really uncomfortable physical sensations happening in your emotional system. So for example, if I tell you, you might be watching videos on YouTube, and for example, you get the social anxiety, you go into fight or flight, and because of that, you're unable to listen to people. You're too in your head. You can't listen to what they're saying. You can't carry out simple tasks at work. Why? Because remember, the ego is trying to get the approval, acceptance, and admiration of the other person, but at the same time, it's disconnecting you from them and from yourself. So for example, your mind, your rational mind is telling you to be a good listener. But what the ego is actually saying underneath that is stay in the conversation. Don't let them know that you're not following along. If they find out you're not listening, they're not going to like you. So you see what's going on underneath the surface. The ego has a whole other agenda. And when there's this chatter going on in your head, because let's say you're dissociated and your ego's keeping you in the conversation so that person will like you, there's the hidden agenda. There's the hidden agenda. How is it that you can get somebody to like you when you have this whole other secret going on inside you? Talk about imposter syndrome, because your ego has taken that beautiful sentiment of being a good listener. That's obviously the ultimate goal. But at the same time, keeping them at a distance. I want to come across as a good listener. I want to be perceived as a good listener. But I don't want this person getting to know the real me. I don't want this person really knowing what's going on inside, those thoughts and feelings that are actually happening inside me. And that's where that massive conflict comes in. That's why you feel kind of crazy, like you want to get close to people, but at the same time, there's that wall in there that's pushing them away at the same time. And when you're separated from yourself, you will always be susceptible to that feeling like you're not good enough. That's coming from a place of insecurity. It only magnifies the feeling like you're not good enough. So what I want you to do is, on a bodily level, on a somatic level, every single day, as many times as you can. I don't care if it's every hour. I don't care if it's every half hour. As many times as you can. How does it feel in your body? Is it feeling like your ego's activated? And when it's activated, are you letting it act, think, and speak through you? Or are you challenging it? And are you having integrity with yourself and acting from a place with your higher self? Because there's nothing but worth over here. The curious place, the calm place, the connected place, your higher self, the confidence over here, the place that you're in service of other people, you're connected and you're helping other people. When you keep acting from this place where there's nothing but worth, that feeling like you're not good enough doesn't exist over here. So moving forward, keep checking in, keep discovering who you are on a daily basis, on a somatic level, so you can keep cultivating and growing this space within you. It seems fleeting right now, and that's the challenge. Keep growing it and growing it on a daily basis, and let your actions and your words and your thoughts flow from this place, and you'll step into a completely new reality. And if you need more help with that, discovering who you are, you can't get past those negative thoughts and feelings, the ego, it's very convincing, right? And if you need more help navigating what's the real you and who's the ego and the lower self, take my masterclass. The link is below the video. I'm gonna walk you through the step-by-step process for the ways the ego shows up and tries to control your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors, so you can challenge that, cultivate your higher self, and cultivate the true you that's connected, it's curious, and it's interested in people and in life, and you're in that flow state. Make sure you empower yourself with that training today. And if you're still with me until the end, thank you for watching. If you found the video helpful, please like and subscribe. Here's another video that you can check out next, and it goes into that self-censoring, that fear that something's gonna come out and it's gonna come out the wrong way, and the ego does that. And here's a video that's gonna help you understand what is it? What's the content that's coming out and why it's coming out in that way that you don't want, so you can fearlessly express yourself and stop worrying and self-censoring everything you say. So make sure you check that one out next, and I'll see you soon, all right? Peace.